Midlife crisis, the dark night of the soul. That's what I called it. That's what I experienced. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people who can relate to the idea of the dark night of the soul. I'm kind of laughing, but it actually is quite serious. For me, when I went through it, it started with the death of my mom. No, that's not right. The death of my mom was a huge part of it. It started off that I fell in love with somebody that was married and I did not know it. And I believed him when he said, I am not married. I believed that. I fell for it and had to go through that whole drama. So for me, the dark night of the soul really began with losing trust and faith in myself, in my own judgment. That was the beginning of the spiral. Then I ended up losing my mom. I ended up losing my business. I ended up losing a lot of money. Now, here's the thing to understand. While all those things were going on, there was still gain. So there was loss and there was gain. There was feast and then there was famine. There was death, there was rebirth. So the midlife crisis or the dark night of the soul is not all negative and dark and depressing. It's just that there's a lot of those things that are going on at the same time, and it becomes very, very confusing. And also, it becomes kind of fatiguing. That's what I found. I found myself getting just really tired and finding myself frustrated very often. And I work with women who are going through this, and fatigue is always at the top of the list. Fatigue, burnout, and this inability to control the moods. Now, a lot of people look at midlife and the crisis comes through the physical body, like, menopause. We think about all the challenges that go along with menopause, and those things are really, really important. But to me, that was just the superficial stuff. All the things that were going on underneath were most important, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Now, my name is Crystalline Bell, and I'm the founder of Badass Butterfly Alchemy. I have been a life coach for the last 13 years. Prior to that, I was an energetic healer and a massage therapist, so I did a lot of body work. I had my own studio in Long Beach, California. I had a team of 20 people who worked for me, and we were doing all sorts of wonderful things. So we were doing massage and facials, and we did waxing, but we also did a lot of esoteric work. So we had an acupuncturist, we had an herbalist, we did astrology, meditation, Reiki, all levels of healing. It was just a really, really phenomenal thing. I wanted to travel the world, so I became certified as a life coach, and I started traveling and doing my work abroad and doing things online, and that's where I am right now. I currently live in Paris, France. Most of my students and clients, though, are in the United States of America. All right, so that's just a little bit about me. That's how I came to this. A little bit more about me. That whole loss and gain and then death and rebirth, that is the story of my life. And it's really an important part of this journey, because for me, death and rebirth are not something that are unnatural. Those are things that are natural, and that it's a normal part of human experience. When it comes at us in midlife, though, it has a particular strength and intensity that stands out and is different than when we were younger. And I believe, and what I've come to believe very truly, is that death and rebirth process in all the death and rebirth that we have experienced leading up to midlife were kind of like the practice runs for the death and rebirth that wants to come through us in midlife. For me, and a huge part of my framework, is to understand that this death and rebirth wants to be permanent. It's like that caterpillar that grows into a butterfly. the caterpillar eats and bursts through its skin throughout its caterpillar life. But then there comes a point at midlife when that caterpillar is like, okay, no, something has to die so that this new thing can be born. And that's the butterfly. So the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, it dies, it melts away, and then the butterfly awakens and it breaks through, and that now it has new life. It's the same creature, but it has totally transformed. And that is what I want for you. What I want for you is to become a midlife millionaires. Now, you're like, where is this millionaires thing coming from? Well, here's the thing. Wealth for me is very much about money, but also not about money, all right? Wealth is money, cash, energy, okay? Yes, but wealth is, before it becomes money, wealth is connection to spirit, wealth is connection to your body, wealth is energy, wealth is your sexuality, your sex drive, it's your heart, it's your willingness and your ability to connect with people. Wealth is your ability to be vulnerable, to be intimate, to plumb the depths of the human experience and to draw gold and life from that, to draw life from this world and to live fully. That is wealth. And so what I want for you is to become a midlife millionaires. So I want you to transform from a woman who's just living her life to this new being, this butterfly, if you will, this millionaires who is fully wealthy in her body, in her mind, in her spirit, and in her bank account. So let me tell you how my framework goes, okay? I have some notes, all right? I want for you to become a midlife millionaires. A midlife millionaires. So how are you going to do that? Well, in order to do that, you need to be an alchemist. So a lot of people are like, Crystalline, what is an alchemist? Well, an alchemist back in the day is somebody who would take a base metal, they'd take some tin and they go through all these processes and try to turn that tin into gold, okay? Well, what I want for you is to become a woman who takes her negative circumstances, all the things that are not working in your life, and I want you to turn those into gold. So taking your circumstances that are not working and turn them into thriving circumstances. If you want to move into that level of living your life where you can be like, yes, I became a millionaires in my midlife, you have got to learn how to transform your negative experiences into positive ones. And you need to do it on 3 levels. So you need to be an alchemist with your healing, an alchemist with your dreams, and an alchemist with your money. And I have that written down here for you. You need to be an alchemist of healing, of dreams, and money. Is that even slightly clear? It is now. Alchemist of healing, dreams, and money. All right? So what do you do with that? What does that mean? Let's look at the healing alchemy first, because to me, this is where it all begins. You cannot move forward into higher expressions of yourself if you are being held down or held back by negative experiences like past trauma, limiting beliefs, limited mindsets, small perceptions, not believing in yourself, self-doubt, fear, all those things. If they're holding you back, they are not going to allow you to move forward. So so in order for you to be able to be a real healer for yourself and for others, if you want to do it for others, but the one that counts is you. You don't need to be trying to heal people if you're not even working on yourself, all right? So we start with you first, okay? You don't have to be perfect, but we do want you to be starting with yourself. So what does it mean In order for you to be to have healing alchemy, you have to understand the death and rebirth cycle. Wait, it's clear here, right? So yeah, you have to master the death and rebirth cycle. So what does that even mean? Well, the death and rebirth cycle is something that is a natural part of the human experience. Like I talked about the caterpillar changing into a butterfly, the caterpillar dies so that the butterfly can give birth to itself. It's the same thing in your life. You've died to old ways all the time. You're dying always to old things. You yesterday died so that you could have today. So being able to understand that death and birth is a natural part of the human experience is really important. Well, how are we going to use that? Well, there are 3 ways that you're going to use it, okay? Number 1, you're going to reckon the 12. You are going to burn the pyre, and you are going to rise from the ash. So what does that even mean? All right, let me tell you. There are 12 major aspects of your human existence that you've got to deal with. And just to help you understand, it's partially things like your physical body, your relationships, your money, what you value, your income, your spirituality, your connection to spirit, your sexuality, your connection to pleasure, your family of origin, your home, your dreams, your community, your subconscious mind, all those things, okay? I just gave you a fast overview, but just understand that to think that you're going to move forward in your life with only some things and you're going to let other things go, it doesn't work. So understanding that in order to be like someone who truly heals herself, you have to understand the different levels of yourself. I have narrowed it down to 12 levels because those are 12 levels that you can relate to. I just listed off a bunch of things and there's nothing in that list that you cannot relate to. And in all those things, you could see where there's some space for improvement. If not, all right, but you probably get it, right? So what we want for you to be able to do in order to have a really good healing experience for yourself is to be able to to be able to clear out all of those things and see your weakness in all those areas so that you can bring healing, bring light, and bring improvement to those areas so that as you're moving forward in the next half of your life, you have all the things that you need intact. I can guarantee you, for me, the thought of going forward in my new life with that same old baggage, those same old fears, that same old heartbreak, there was no way I would do that. So doing this work was incredibly healing for me. It was powerful, and it's partially why my life is so good and I am seeing the benefits now. It's why this time I'm receiving money and I'm not losing it. In my life, again, the death and rebirth process, I mentioned feast or famine. That was a huge part of my life. I would get money, then I would spend it all, I would lose it, right? And so for me, I'm in a stage where I let go of those old identities, right? I've reckoned all those levels of my life, and now I'm making money, I'm saving money, I'm investing money, and I'm watching it grow, and it is an absolutely different experience. I've never done this before. I've always made a lot of money and then spent it all or lost it all or didn't manage it and ended up giving it all away in taxes. All of that is just dumb, but that was my story, right? And I corrected it, and that's why I'm helping you not do the same things that I do. Because if you can relate to my story, then I'm so sorry. If you can relate to my story, though, seriously, there's help, and this is what I'm showing you right now. So reckoning those 12 are going to be important. The next thing, though, is burning the pyre. So here's the thing. Very often we'll go in and we'll work on doing some healing stuff, and we never actually let those old entities, those old identities die. What we end up doing is bringing those things along with us, and we never actually have a new experience. We keep reliving the old experiences, and then we keep ourselves in this cycle and in these patterns, and we know how the outcomes are going to be. We know how the outcomes are going to be because we've already done that, okay? So what we want to do is to actually lay those old ways to rest. I call that burning the pyre, like it's a funeral pyre. We want to have a funeral for the old way. Now, the last part of this healing alchemy is the rising from the ash. And you can think about this like a phoenix that rises from the ash. You have to now, you've burned down all the old identities. You now have to step into the next level of being. And that is not as easy as it sounds. So that takes me into the next part of my framework, which is the dream alchemy. So I said that you have to have 3 different types of alchemy, right? You have to have, can we see that? Yes, dream alchemy. Yes, it's blurry. That's okay. So you've got to have 3 kinds of alchemy: the healing alchemy, the dream alchemy, and the money alchemy. All right? Dream alchemy is about dreaming big and being able to work with your dreams in a way that allows them to grow, and you stick with them until they actually come into being. Because big dreams don't come overnight. They require resilience, tenacity, stability, commitment, right? They demand all the hard things. Discipline. Oh my God, you have to be disciplined in order to make your dreams come true. So in order to make your dreams come true, you have to master the star mindset. Master the star mindset. What do I mean by that? Well, there are 3 things for this too. You're going to need to mine your gold, okay? Go digging for the gold inside yourself. You're going to need to mission your vision. That means you have to develop your vision. First of all, you mine that gold. The gold is your heart, your soul, your God self, your purpose for coming to earth. There's a reason that you came to earth. You're not here on earth randomly. God has a purpose for you. You need to discover what that true purpose is. You need to treat it like it's gold, because it is your gold. It's your reason for being here. You need to turn that into a vision and then turn that into your mission. Meaning, you don't just sit on it and be like, yeah, I have a mission. I got to do. No, you have to make it real, and you have to take action, and you have to breathe life into it, and then you have to give birth to it. And in order to do all of that, this is my favorite part. You have to come out of the closet, baby. Come out of the closet. Mine your gold. Mission your vision. Come out of the closet. So important. You have to stop hiding. You have to stop playing small. You have to stop trying to pretend like you don't have value and that you don't have a mission and that your job is just to, be small. No, you have light just like I have light, just like all the people that we see in the media have light, okay? Your job is to get that light, bring it out, and then act on it, and then make it real. So dream alchemy is very, very important, and it's the thing that's going to help you move forward into the third thing that you need, the third part of the framework, which is the money alchemy, right? So in order to have money alchemy, you have to have multiple income streams. There it is. It just got clear right there. Master multiple income streams. So important. Just having one job is not going to take you to the pinnacle of where you want to go. You need to take and I don't have any problem with having a job. I like having a job, okay? I love the people who work for me, my team, they actually have jobs. I'm so grateful that they have jobs and they want to work for me, okay? But at the same time, you might have a job, but you also need to have other streams of income. So maybe you have a side hustle, or maybe you have investments, right? Maybe you're investing in stocks and bonds and you're doing that thing. Maybe you have some money saved and you have interest being earned. Maybe you're investing in other businesses. Maybe you, yes, all the investment. You have real estate is what I was thinking, right? So you want to make sure you have different income streams. A lot of the women who come to me, thank God, love having their own business. I'm a business mentor. That is one of my greatest passions, is helping women give birth to their brilliance. And that is actually a part of my framework. So here, in order for you to master and embody multiple income streams, you have to, first of all, revamp your self-concept. You have to see yourself very differently than you're seeing yourself now, especially if you're someone who's only had a job and just been living off that job. Maybe you've saved some money, maybe you have a 401k, but you need to see yourself in a different way in order to be able to open up to this kind of wealth, this kind of multi-millionaires wealth, all right? The next thing you also want to do is to be able to monetize your brilliance. Your brilliance. You are brilliant. You have all kinds of things that are coming through you. God is bringing all sorts of ideas through you, and you really only need one in order to take your financial destiny to a whole new level. You don't have to have 50 ideas. You need just one good idea. It needs to be fleshed out and then developed, and then you turn that into your primary source, and then you can expand on that to create multiple sources. All right? Now, the next thing and the last thing on here is it says you have to brick your empire. Brick your empire. What do I mean by brick your empire? Well, you start you start with one brick, and then you add another brick, and then another brick, and then another brick, and another brick, another brick, another brick, another brick, another brick, another brick, another brick. That is how you build something. You build it one step at a time. So instead of getting overwhelmed and being like, how am I going to do all those things? What you do is you start with one, and then you do the next one. And a lot of that requires listening and using your intuition and all this kind of thing. So this is my this is my framework in a nutshell, all right? This is how you are going to become a midlife millionaires. Now, the thing that I want you to do right now, we're going to do a little assessment, all right? And that assessment is going to go like this. On a scale of 1 to 10, I just want you in your mind, and you can write it for me in the comments. It would be great if you told me in the comments where you are. For the 3 levels of alchemy: healing, dream, and money. How strong are you? How strong are you as the dream, as the healing alchemist? Are you someone who masters the death and rebirth cycle? Are you someone who has looked at the 12 areas of your life and totally transform them so that you are operating at peak performance in your relationships, in your health, in your dreams, in your career, in your money, in your sexuality, in your body, in your pleasure, and all the things? Are you rocking those things? Are you someone who has done all the healing work that she needs to do? Have you looked at all your shadows and made those corrections so that you are no longer ruled by fear or doubt or limitations, limiting beliefs? Have you done all that work? And have you risen from the ashes? Are you ready to rise from the ashes and to take on your new self, your big dreams, so that you can own your dream alchemy, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you with the healing, as a healing alchemist? All right, now put it in the comments for me. For the dream alchemy, are you someone who has looked at your true self, at your star self, your core? Have you looked at who you are and looked at what you really, really, truly want for yourself without limitations? So many women come to me and they look at themselves and they say, yeah, I want this, but I can only accept that. I'll settle for that. This is about not settling. When you move into midlife, it's no more settling. It's about making a stand for your bigger, true, authentic, stellar self. You have to make a decision for your star self, your star mindset. You have to advocate for your own star mindset. And your star is not a little star. A star is the size of our sun. That is the power that's in you. That energy does not settle. So have you done that work? Have you awakened that star and mined for your own goal to see where your gifts are, your true gifts and your true desires? Have you missioned your vision? Have you taken those things and made it your vision? Have you come out of the closet? Are you taking action? Just like you see me sitting here making this video, I've mined my gold. I know what my star wants me to do, and I am doing it step by step every single day. I mission my vision every single day. I am building, always adding on, working with my people. I have my tribe of women that I work with. They are a part of my mission. I write. Book writing is a part of my mission. I am doing my work. Are you? For me, I'm a 10 right here. What's your number for your dream alchemy? What's your number for the healing alchemy? And then the last one, the money alchemy. Are you doing the things to set up your multiple income streams? If you're going to become a midlife millionaires, you need to do the work to set up your multiple income streams. That is so important. And it starts not by trying to make money. It starts first with your self-concept, and then it goes into discovering your brilliance, right? That gold that we discovered under the dream alchemy. You discovered that you have gold. Well, you need to monetize that, all right? So you monetize that, and then you start building the empire that is going to set up all your multiple income streams, and that is going to lead you to being a midlife millionaires. All right, so put your numbers in the comments and let me know how you did. And how can you work with me on this? Well, I have a community, and it's called the Midlife Woman Wealth Society. The Midlife Woman Wealth Society. There's a link for it in the comments. Look at the webpage and sign up. We have a new year starting this month, and we actually start over every single month, but we have a whole new launch that's happening this month. So now is a great time to come in. It is going to be a phenomenal year. I'll tell you more about that in a different video, but for right now, check out the webpage. Like I said, you can get the link in the comments, and come and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it promises to make you a midlife millionaires. And when I say it promises, I actually mean that. I want to make you a midlife millionaires. Test me. Come try me. Watch when you see what we're doing. You're going to be like, oh my God, Crystalline, this is real. And I'm like, yes, it's real. It's going to happen for you, just like it's happened for me. And it's happening for all my other ladies too. All right. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Bye for now. Bye, friend.